Hello everyone. So today we will be looking into how to build a fault tolerant website, and also we will check after we reboot or terminate the EC2 instances or RDS database, MySQL RDS database, is my website will still be on or it will fall down. So if you go through the diagram, you can see this is my user who will be browsing through the internet, and they will hit to the route 53, and this is totally optional. You can do it through application load balancers, and then essentially they are going to go in and connect up to your AWS cloud network, and they will connect to your elastic load balancer. We then gonna have some EC2 instances behind our autoscaling group. Also, we will be having RDS instances which will be in multi-AZ. EC2 instances will be in separate availability zone, and RDS instances will be in multi availability zones. We will also have two S3 buckets, as you can see in here. One will be for media assets for our WordPress site, and the other one will have our code for WordPress site. And essentially we will send out all our pictures from our WordPress site to CloudFront. Then we will fail EC2 and RDS instances to check for fault tolerance. And let's go ahead with our AWS console and let's build our fault tolerant website. So let's log into our AWS console. So here we are in our AWS console. First of all, let's build two buckets, S3 buckets. Let's build two S3 buckets, one with the name my, everything should be in small, my S3 media. Let's remove this option. Then create bucket. So right now we have created bucket for media, and likewise we will create a bucket for our code, my S3 WordPress code. So we are done with our S3 buckets. Let's go ahead and now create a CloudFront distribution, because this will take some time to propagate. So where will we find our CloudFront distribution? This will be under network and content delivery. So here we are. So let's go ahead and create. We will go ahead with, we can go ahead with RTMP or web. We will go ahead with web. Let me give the origin domain name for this as the media bucket. Let's keep the path as blank. Restrict bucket access no, and viewer protocol policy HTTP HTTPS get head allowed HTTP methods. Let's keep everything as default as it is, and then just create the distribution. So currently we have the status enabled and the status is in progress. So currently my CloudFront distribution is getting created, and this will take some time to be deployed, nearly 10 to 15 minutes or more than that. So before while this goes on, let's go ahead and create some security groups. Where do we find our security groups? In VPC, and VPC is in network and content delivery. So here we are in our VPC console, and this is, let's go to security groups. So here we are in our security group, and let's create one security group with the name my fault tolerant DMZ. Fault tolerant DMZ, and let's attach it with my this security group. Right now we need to check what all inbound rules are there. Currently we do not have any inbound rules in here. So let's give SSH rule. HTTP. And the outbound rules, we have all traffic in here, so it's prevalent. And let's make another create another security group, my FT fault tolerant RDS SG. So we have our RDS also created. We do not have any inbound rules in here, so let's create my inbound rules and give here my DMZ security group, because MySQL port needs to be open to WebDMZ security group. So this is created. Now let's go ahead and create some RDS. So where will we find in our RDS? In database. Let's create the database. We will go ahead with our MySQL database, and let's take the development a test. Type a name for your DB instance. So let me give my DB instance as infra-DB, master username as infra experts, and let's give the same name as my password. You should not do this in your production environment. Let me give the DB instance size as burstable class, which includes T classes. The storage type as general purpose SSD is fine. Allocated storage is 20 GB, let it be. Storage autoscaling, enable autoscaling storage, that is fine. Availability and durability, we need multi-AZ environment, so create a standby environment, standby instance. The connectivity, let's take our default VPC. Let's take this VPC as we are using this everywhere. Additional connectivity configuration, publicly accessible, let me choose take it as no, and choose the existing VPC security group. Let me take my RDS. So we took our RDS. So everything is fine. Let me check still. Initial database name as infra-DB. Let's copy it. Enable automatic backups. I believe we do not need automatic backups to require here. We do not need enhanced monitoring also. Log expose, those things we also do not need. And since this is multi-AZ, it is not in free version, so let's create it. So this is getting created, the status is creating, db size is t2 micro, it's multi-AZ been configured. So by then let me check whether my CloudFront has been created or not. So the status has changed to deployed. So this is created right now. Now let's go to my IAM roles, which is under security and security, identity and compliance, and let's see whether we have any role created for Amazon S3 full access, or let's create one role. So here we are, let's go to roles. We'll take it for this. Let's filter out the policies for S3. So here we are, let's take this policy, and the key, let me give my key as S3 full access. Next, review, let me give the name as S3 full access, then create the role. So my role also has been created, S3 full access is the role name. Now let's go ahead and create an EC2 instance. So let's create an instance. We can go ahead with this launch instance, and we'll use this Amazon Linux 2 AMI. We'll go ahead with the free tier version, which is t2.micro, and in here let me take this default VPC, subnet to be there, and the IAM role, let me take this one which we just created, and let's go ahead and put our bootstrap script, which is, it will be updating your kernels. It will install your Apache, PHP, MySQL, and it will go to cd var www and create a healthy.html file, and it will then get this WordPress tar, which will then install it, and then it will start the Apache services. So let's put this. Next, add storage. We have our general purpose SSD, that is fine. Then add tag. Let me add the tag as my web server, my WP server. The security group, let us take from our existing security group the DMZ one, then review and launch. Let me take this and launch. So we have our EC2 instance also created. Now what we will do, we will go in and configure our EC2 instance, and we will install WordPress on there and create a post, and in that post we will add 2 new images and then add some resiliency. Then we will put our EC2 instance behind our application load balancer, and then we will connect application load balancer up to Route 53. So we need to ensure Apache WordPress is installed in the EC2 instance. So let's log into our EC2 instance. So let's grab our public IP. And I'm giving my public key in here. I'll increase my window and let's see whether I'm able to log in or not. So here we are in our EC2 console, in our EC2 through PuTTY, and right now I'll just make the screen a bit bigger. We will elevate our privileges to root first. So we are in root user, and right now we need to see whether our Apache has been installed. So how do we see? We need to, if this directory is present, then we can ensure that Apache is installed. So cd var www directory is present, so Apache is installed, and you need to check whether your htaccess has been installed or not. So this is the command, means this is the file. So htaccess has been installed, and this is the rewrite rule present in here. We'll be seeing this in the latter part of our course. So, and let us check the status of our Apache service httpd status. So Apache services are currently running. Now let's take our IP address and log into our, let's take our EC2 IP address and go to the web browser. So our WordPress site is opening, and this is the installation screen. So let's go. The database name, let us give the database name as infradb. I believe we gave this name only. Let me just cross check it once. Yes, the database name is infradb and everything is small. Let's give it in small. The username I believe it was infra experts. Yes, this is the username. So let me just copy and paste it in here. The password, let me put the password as same. The database host, this should be a local host if you are running a MySQL on EC2 instance, but here we are using an RDS instance, so we need to put the RDS endpoint. So from where do we get the RDS endpoint? From here, from connectivity and security in our RDS, from our RDS we will be getting our RDS endpoint, and we need to just keep it in here. So that's it, and then submit. We might be getting an error. Well, my password, we cannot paste it in here, that's why we were getting the screen. So if you need to put the password in here like this, you need to type the password and then submit it. Once you submit, if you get the screen, then sorry, but I cannot write the wp config file .php file. You can create the wp manually and paste the following text into it. So we need to copy this, and paste the same. After creating a file in here, wp-config.php file. So we are ready with the file, and then let's run the installation. So we are inside the so inside our installation, and if the run the installation, if it hangs, that would mean that your security group is blocking your port 3306, which is your MySQL port. So let's give our site title as hello infra experts. My username, let it be the same. Password, let it be this. Very big. And you need to give your email ID in here, and discourage search engines from indexing this site. Yes, because we will be deleting this. So, and I will just give my email ID in here, and will install the WordPress. I will just pause the video while I give my email ID in here. So we have so the WordPress is installed. So just let's log into our WordPress site. The username was infra experts, and the password also remains the same. Let's just remember me and log into the site. So we are here in our AWS in our WordPress site. So let's go to posts and add a new post. So here in our hello experts, welcome to my website, and let's put some images. So you can go in and add some pictures in here from my gallery. Let's take it from my, and let's take this picture. Okay, so I decrease my resolution. So this is one of the pictures which I took during my Bhutan tour visit. These were taken while we were going to our while we were trekking to our to Tiger's Nest cave. These both pictures were taken during that time. So let's publish this page. So this has been published. Now let's go to our terminal window, and let's go to WordPress content. In here we will be having our uploads file. In here 2020, the year, current year. In here which month, and then you can see the images being uploaded in here. So they are up in the cloud, sitting on an EBS volume of your EC2 instance. Now let's add some bit more resilience to it. Let's go to cd var www html. What we need to do in here is, whenever someone stores a file on our site, that is also stored in S3 for redundancy, and we will force CloudFront to serve those files using CloudFront distribution rather than using the images on our EC2 instances, since the site will load a bit faster. Now check whether our S3 role is working in here. AWS S3 ls. Yes, our role is working in here, and we have our media and WordPress code S3 buckets present. So now what we need to do is AWS S3, copy all the files and folders within the directory of our WP content to our media bucket. Hyphen hyphen recursive. So recursive is the thing which means to copy all the files and folders within the directory. Hash var www html WP content. Then uploads. We could use our EC2 instance and EC2 instance to copy full of our S3 buckets. So we'll be doing that too. So before that, let us give our S3 bucket name. And the bucket name is media. So these two pictures have been copied to our media bucket. Now we could use our EC2 instance anytime. So need a full copy of it in our S3 bucket, as I said earlier. So let's copy our var www.html directory, the codes to our S3 bucket, which is our code bucket. So the same command hyphen recursive till HTML, then our S3 bucket, our code bucket. Now let's see whether everything is copied in there or not. So if this is done, so let me check AWS S3 ls, then my S3 bucket name. So these have been copied. Now let's clear my screen first and check what's in our healthy.html file. So we can use our Elastic Load Balancer to do health check of that file as well. So let's vi ht access and we got a URL in here as rewrite rule. This essentially allows our website to basically, instead of serving our images out of EC2, it is going to serve our images out of CloudFront. It's going to rewrite URL for all our images. So what we need to do in here is that in the rewrite rule, WP content uploads, then this, and in here we need to put our CloudFront distribution name, domain name. So let's go to our AWS console and to our CloudFront. So here we are in our domain. This is the domain name actually. Well, you can copy it from here. So let's copy our domain name and then paste it in here. So we are done with this. Now let's make our S3 bucket up to date. Let's check our S3 bucket names and then sync our bucket. So currently this is in sync, and you can see since we changed its dot means we did some changes in .ht access, that is the only file which has been uploaded. Now it's that that we have done our URL rewrite is still not going to work, because we actually have to tell Apache that we are going to allow URL rewrites. So let's go to here. Apache is installed, and let's go to conf. Let's keep a backup of our http.conf file. Now let's edit our http.conf file, and in here let's go to allow override controls. And right now the override is none. Let's change this to all. And then just save it. Now let's restart our Apache service. Now let's copy our bucket policy to make our website public. Let's log into let's go to our AWS console and go to S3. So let's go to our media bucket and go to permissions. In permissions, in our bucket policy, let's put our this code. Now we need to make sure that our ARN is updated with this ARN. So we are done with this. You need to make sure that it is 100% correct, and you need to save it. This bucket has public access. You have provided, but we highly recommend that you never grant public access, so that is fine. So we are done with this. CloudFront might take some time to propagate actually. So let's see whether this is done or not. Let's go in here. Hello experts. And let's click on the image. And open it in new tab. So you can see in here, as you can see, the URL cloudfront.net is opening in here. Same out here for this also, the CloudFront is so rewrite is definitely working. It's not using our static IP address. Now let's create an application load balancer. Let's go to our EC2 console first. load balancers, then let's call it as my ALB WordPress and keep it as internet facing. IPv4 address is fine, listeners is AC, that is fine. Let's take all our subnets, availability zones, and security group. Let's take our web DMZ security group. We will be taking our new target group in here. So this should be instance target type and my FT ALB target group name. Let's put the path as healthy.html, and in advanced checks let's keep healthy threshold as 2, unhealthy threshold as 3, interval as 6, then register targets. Interval second is 30 seconds, that is fine. Then add to register. And just create it. So my load balancer has been created successfully. Now let's go to target groups, targets, target registration is in progress. So currently our status is active, and our target group, we can see the target is healthy. Now we will see how we can add a bit of resilience and autoscaling by deleting some EC2 instances and rebooting our RDS. So before that, let's go to our EC2 and let's edit our cron tab. We will take a snapshot of it, of our EC2, and this is going to be a base image for our EC2 instance that are going to be reader node. This is going to be WordPress site behind ALB, our application load balancer. The reader node would scan S3 and do it every minute and will look for any changes to our WordPress site. If there is any change, it's going to download that change to this EC2 instance. So let's edit our cron tab. This is for every minute it will be running, for every hour, for every day, for every month, for every day of the week, and this needs to be run at root level, and we will be syncing our S3 . We need to take our media name, so let's I don't have my media name copied, so let's log into another EC2 instance and take the media name. Let us log in. elevate our privileges to root, and let me check. So this is my bucket which I am in need of. So it will check for, so it will look for any changes in S3, and then we'll go ahead and download these changes. If we delete the files from S3, it will delete the files from EC2 instance also. I'm very impatient to wait to make these changes happen, so I will just restart my cron job. So those are restarted. So now from AWS Console, let's upload a file to S3. Let's go to S3. Let me upload a file in here. Let me take high infras. So what is written in here? Let us also check it. Hello guys. So let's upload it. So we have uploaded the file, and let's right now go to our S3 again. Let's go to cd var www.html and let's ls. We were not able to see this, so I just restarted my cron job since I had to wait again. So I just restarted my cron job, and I can see this to be prevailing in here. And you can see this is the code, this is the word which hello guys, which I wrote in there. So now in this verse we will create an AMI machine image, because this will be our golden template or gold boot image for our WordPress service in our autoscaling groups. So let's log into our, let's go to our AWS console and let's go to EC2. Let's go to the running instances, and from the running instances we have our writer node. Let's take an image of it. Let me give the name as my ft writer node image, my WordPress writer node image. Let me give the name as this, and let's create the image. You will see that our EC2 instance will be rebooted, since I didn't click the option no reboot. So this will be rebooted, and we need to again log in, because our EC2 session got terminated right now. So we need to again log in after some time. Let us check by then. So this is running in here, and let us check whether any images have been created or not. So this is currently running. I need to delete this. So I just deregistered it and it went away. So right now this is pending, and it's in the process of getting created. I'll just pause the video until this is created. So our image has been created. So let's log into our EC2 instance again. Let me clear the screen, elevate my privileges to root, and then let's just edit our cron tab again. We got our reader nodes now. We will change the command as it's now going to be our write node. So we will be reversing it. So what we need to do in here is so this is copied, and we need to run one more command. This will sync our S3 bucket as we want to so that if any images are uploaded to this EC2 instance, it's going to be distributed through our CloudFront as well. So I'll just copy it, delete, WP content, uploads, then give our S3 bucket name, my S3 media. Let's check our cron tab again. So this is done, no need of checking it, and let's go to our cd var www HTML, and let's create a file in here. And let's restart our cron job. Let's also check our Apache status. So our Apache is running. Now let's go back to to S3 and check whether test.txt has been sent to our S3 bucket or not. So you can see in here that the test.txt bucket has been sent. Now let's create our groups. Let's go to EC2 Autoscaling Groups. Then launch configuration. So till now what all we created? We created one S3. We created two S3 buckets. We created one EC2 instance. We created load balancers, and right now we will be creating the autoscaling group so that it will be launching our EC2 instances. So create launch configuration. Let me first, I deleted my previous one. Let's go to my AMIs and take this image. From this image only it will be creating other EC2 instances. My WordPress writer node LC. Let's give full access, and in advanced details let us put this script. Let us put a bash script. And let me take the bucket name. So this is my bucket name. Let me put it in here. Next, we are fine with it. Let's take our DMZ group, security group, and launch. So this is successfully launched. So let's create our autoscaling group using this launch configuration. Let me give the group name as my WordPress reader node, and it should start with 2 instances. Default VPC is fine, and let's take all the subnets. And in advanced details, the health check grace period, let me keep it as 60 seconds. Let's give this as receive traffic from one or more load balancers, and the target group as my WordPress reader node. Let me keep the health check type as ELB. The health check grace period I changed to 60 seconds from 300 seconds, and then let us take this, keep this group at its initial size, and we can create autoscaling group that no need. The tag, let me give name my WordPress reader node, and let's create the autoscaling group. So this is also created. So if you can see in here, this is not yet in service, and this is being, and let us check from the launch configuration, this is fine. And in autoscaling group, you can see that EC2 instance, one of the EC2 instance has been successfully launched, and it is launching the other one. If you go to your EC2 running instances, you can see 2 EC2 instances have been created with the name my WordPress reader node. So let's log into to our right node again. We have this, and not from here, from our browser. Let's log in from our browser. Let's take this. Let's take the public IP and log in here. So here we are, and let's add a new post in here. And write, hi guys, and let's post a picture in here. This will take some time for it to upload, to propagate in here, due to CloudFront is there in the picture. So I'll just pause the video until this is propagated. So this is there. This is a picture which we took when we went to Bhutan in Phobjika Valley, and these are black neck cranes which migrate in there. So let me publish and update it. So right now this is done. Right now let's go to our AWS console again. Let me open this image, and you can see that this is taken CloudFront.net. Let me take one of my reader images, and let's open it in here. You can see that this site has been opened. Let me take the other one. And so you can see my WordPress site has been loaded. So right now let's do one thing. Let me terminate one of my reader instances. So currently it is shutting down, and we won't be having any access to it, but still this will be available in here from CloudFront and from the other EC2 instance too. And once this is terminated, our autoscaling group will check the health check of it and will create one more instance on behalf of it. So that is it about our resiliency part in our EC2 instance, for our EC2 instances. Now let's go to our EC2, and you can see in here that our one of the instances is healthy and the other one is unhealthy. And after refresh it, you can see that one more EC2 instance has been created. You can check it in from here also, from our instances, from our running instances. You can see that one more instance has been launched by now. See, this was terminated and this has been launching. It's in initialization phase. Now let's see how we can reboot. What happens if we reboot our RDS instance? How we can fail over from one availability zone to another using RDS. If you check this option, reboot with, let's go in, click on this, let's go to actions, then reboot, and you need to check the option reboot with failover, then reboot. So once this is getting rebooted, let us check whether this site is working or not. So this is just trying to find it, and so that is all about failover and resiliency. And you can check these if you have your own website, then you can check once you are rebooting your database, then your website will be down for a little bit. So that is all about this session. So make sure that you delete your RDS, target groups, application load balancer, EC2, and disable your CloudFront distribution also. Then delete your S3 so that you are not overcharged. Thanks for watching the video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.